The eCom Q4 Summit was created to prove that any seller can experience a highly profitable fourth quarter with access to the right tips, strategies, and techniques. There's no need to struggle trying to figure out what to sell, where to find it, or how much to list it for. The summit covers everything from sourcing to listing to marketing and streamlining your operations. It doesn't matter if you're selling on one platform or multiple platforms like Amazon, eBay, Shopify, Walmart. And it doesn't matter if you're a new seller or an experienced seller. The information in the summit will help you get sale after sale after sale after sale during the busiest shopping season of the year if you take massive action. So welcome to the eCom Q4 Summit. Hello, this is Nechole Whitlock with the eCom Q4 Summit, and today we are talking about liquidations, closeouts, and prep centers. So a little bit about me. I've been selling online since 2014. Technically, I've been selling longer than that, but we'll say it's 2014. I was selling on a little website called Craigslist before that, many years, but I started off selling, getting serious about it on eBay. I did used to run a candy vending business. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've owned a few different businesses. I've owned rental properties. And I'm a single mom of two special needs kids. They are the reason why I do what I do, because I was looking for a solution for their therapies, for their diets, for all of the medical expenses every year. I'm also the vice president of a nonprofit. And I am the creator and co-founder of eCom Sellers. We run the eCom Q4 Summit, eCom Sellers Summit, eCom Sellers Academy, eCom Sellers Mastery, and eCom Sellers Podcast. So I want to talk about what's the difference between liquidation, overstock, and closeout inventory. So there's liquidation specialists, and they work directly with the retailers that have online space. So you'll see that there's liquidators out there that will sell Walmart liquidations, they'll sell Amazon liquidations, they'll sell Best Buy, they'll sell Home Depot, and it is pretty much inventory that they need to get rid of that's unwanted returns, overstock, or closeout. So the difference is that the customer returns. These are items that are returned to either the store, online, or shipped back, and it's because someone doesn't want them. Something is wrong with it. Something is superficially wrong with it, etc. Closeout is when the inventory is like they have a surplus of inventory. So you'll see closeouts where there's a surplus of inventory, maybe stuff that they pull from the shelf, they have too much of it. Sorry, overstock, not closeout. And so they have a surplus of it, and they're pulling it for whatever reason. So they have a bunch of inventory from Easter or Christmas or Halloween or any other time where there's a surplus of a specific item. So that's inventory that's coming out of overstock. And then closeout inventory is where you have a big name retailer. They're closing their doors. Maybe they're going through a restructuring, reorging. They got to pull inventory, or they've got to do something. And or they're already at capacity in the stores. And so if they're already at capacity in the stores, this is all inventory that has to be liquidated. These are the primary forms of liquidation. And so the liquidators will reach out, the retailers will give the information or sell the information or give the products to liquidators. And the liquidators will sell those unwanted returns, the overstock, and the closeouts directly to resale businesses like you and I, via liquidation or via a fixed negotiated price, fixed or negotiated price. So the benefits of buying liquidation: it costs less than wholesale. That's a fact. With research, you can find some trusted, reliable inventory, which is true. You can. Sometimes it's not. You just never know. Buying in bulk, you can scale your business quickly at a low cost. So in other words, if you're buying below wholesale, like your ROI is going to be higher. And then it's cheaper than manufacturing your own product or doing white label. So if you don't want to do private label, you don't want to do white label, buying liquidation could be helpful for you. Buying liquidation for me is all about being able to find inventory at deep discounts and creating bundles with it. So when you use an online auction, you can competitively bid or pay what you want for those items. So if you don't want to pay more than what the current bid is, you don't have to. So that's one of the benefits of buying a liquidation. So some things to consider when buying liquidation. Um, you need to, if you have extra space in your house, which my house is full. My house is full. I have my garage is full, my living room is full. We just cleared out the den. I have a storage unit. So if you have places to store inventory, you can buy in larger quantities, which is going to reduce your shipping costs because liquidation is going to cost you in shipping. Okay. But if you don't have that space, if you can make some space or find some space, that's good. So if you have space in your a spare room, if you've got space in your garage, if you got retail space or anything like that, then you can buy bigger items, bulkier items that may actually, you may be able to get a bigger return on your investment. Not all big items you get a bigger return, but sometimes you can. If you know what the products are really well, like my specialty, well, one of the things that I know about is special needs products. So I know about those products really well. Then you can use that to your advantage. And then that way it'll make it easier for you to sell those items because you already know who the audience is that would buy this item. You already know where you could list it to find that audience or how to target that audience so you can be able to sell that inventory fairly quickly. You can use the internet to sell your products locally. So Facebook groups, Facebook Marketplace offer of Craigslist, 5 Mile Vintage. You could sell it on all those sites. And or if you're willing to do local pickup, people can come to you and they can pick it up from you. So you can list it on those sites and that'll reduce the shipping costs for them and reduce the shipping costs for you, which can increase your ROI. You can charge a higher price. So shipping costs can definitely impact your business. So you need to figure out ways to minimize your inbound, outbound shipping costs, meaning you're shipping it to the customer or you're receiving it in, like you ordered inventory, you bought some inventory from a liquidator, you bought a pallet, you bought a case, whatever you bought, getting that inventory to you. So you need to figure out some of the cheapest ways in which you can get that inventory. If you can find liquidators that are located near you, then maybe you can drive and go pick it up. So that could save you some money as well. And that's the goal, to save as much money as possible. And then, and also some of these liquidators, some of these big name liquidators actually might be near you. You might be surprised. Like you could buy it online and then go pick it up if you've got a truck or you got a way to get it. Figuring out what to buy, where to buy it, or who to buy it from, and where to sell it will take some experimentation, especially if you just get a variety of different things that are part of your palette, part of your case, part of what you buy from your liquidation. So there's some things that may be in there that you'll be able to sell and you know exactly where to list it. And there may be other things you have absolutely no idea where to sell it. You have no idea where to list it, and you're just you're testing some things. So you got to be patient, you got to be flexible, and you got to be willing to learn and make notes as you're learning or as you're on this journey. So how to buy your liquidated inventory. First, you need to research liquidators. You need to go online. You need to research liquidators. If you already know some sellers, like you have a relationship with sellers that you know personally, who are they buying their liquidation from? Or people that you may follow, or just go online and do some research about liquidators. There's different people are buying inventory, and so the layers that are involved in liquidators. So an example would be some liquidation that came from Walmart. Well, that liquidation from Walmart may be reviewed by someone that buys all of the inventory, and then they may break it down. These major liquidators may break it down and sell it to smaller liquidators. So by the time it gets to you, you may be paying a little bit more of a markup versus if you can buy in larger quantities from a couple of layers up of other liquidators. So just be mindful of that, because the price that you pay may not always be the lowest price, and the person that you buy it from, like, you don't know how long that liquidator's been in business. So try to find someone reputable, find someone that's just got some history, somebody that's got information that you can access when it comes to researching liquidators. Also, go look at some of the unboxing videos on YouTube. Some of the liquidators that you might be working with, you may not actually be able to see what's in the manifest. You may not be able to see, like, the manifest may be 80% accurate, and so there's another 20% that's just random. Or the manifest may be 100% accurate. They did a really good job of listing everything before you buy it. Or they have some random thing that says beauty. And you're like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know what beauty product I'm about to get. I don't know if I'm getting ready to get lipstick or chapstick. I don't know if I'm getting ready to get foundation or facial wash. Like, I have no idea what I'm getting. So, do some research on liquidators, do some research on their sites. We're going to look at a site here pretty quick. So then after you kind of go to a couple, you figure out which liquidators you want to test out, you want to try. Because initially it's going to be trial and error in some cases, not in all cases. If you find some that you feel like you vetted pretty well, then it won't be trial and error for you. So go to their site, do some research. Once you find a couple of them that you like, then go do research on the products or the palettes that they have available, or the cases that they have available, or the products that they have available, or the things that you're interested in. Like for me, it's all about special needs products, toys, solutions. And so I'm interested in liquidators who have access to that kind of stuff. And sometimes you're going to get a palette that is a true hodgepodge of things. It's not one specific thing. It's a variety of different things. So again, be mindful of that. Then research the contents of the manifest if it's available. Again, there's going to be some liquidators that level of detail is there, and there will be others that you're going to get some high level information, and it may be generic and vague. And then conduct some product research. This is extremely important. Your goal is to flip this. Your goal is to resell it. So you need to do product research on the things that are on the manifest before you decide you're going to bid on that or you're going to buy that pallet. So you know what this thing is potentially selling for or could potentially sell for. Is that going to be the case all the time? No. But if you have the opportunity to do a little bit of, if you're able to do some preliminary product research, it's going to be beneficial. You'll be able to flip this faster. If you're not able to do preliminary product research, I understand that may not be an option for you depending on which liquidator you're working with. Okay. So get a quote on or find, they may have a calculator on their site of estimated shipping if it's not local, like if you can't go pick it up, because it's going to be delivered freight. And so that cost is that's going to be an expense you have to deal with. And that freight could be expensive. So you could be buying something that's X number of pounds and the freight for it could be like $500, $600. You just need to be prepared for that. Then the next thing would be to purchase the product or purchase the pallet, purchase whatever you're getting. And then once it arrives, validate the contents once it's received or delivered. And then list your inventory wherever you're going to sell it. Decide where you're going to sell it, how you're going to sell it, how you're going to get rid of it. If it's, if you're going to do something else with it, maybe you are going to go to a trade show. Maybe you have plans for it. So, wherever you're going to sell it, go sell it and make that money. So if you have inventory that is considered stale, like you bought some inventory, you bought a pallet and 70% of it you could sell and 30% you can't do anything with. What do you want to do with that inventory? So Amazon has a liquidation program and it's launched. And so if it's inventory that you're listing on Amazon, then they have a voluntary program. They will dispose of it and they'll reimburse you for that cost. So you can look into that. You could sell your items in bulk. Like again, you're able to get rid of 70% of it. You got this 30% that's just hanging around for like a year, 2 years. You're like, I got to get rid of this. I can't figure out how to get rid of it. I got to find a way to get rid of it. You can sell it to other sellers. So you could go list it on liquidation sites. You could sell it in bulk on eBay. You could sell it on Poshmark, Mercari, OfferUp. You could sell it at flea markets. You could throw it all into a mystery box. So there's different ways in which you can get rid of it. If you want to sell it, or you could just donate it. If you just want to donate it, that's also an option, which means another seller will get it from the thrift store potentially, or a family or a person that needs to buy some stuff from the thrift store. They may get it and use it to their benefit. So where do you find liquidators? The first thing is that a lot of people don't realize you probably have liquidators near you. So you can do a quick Google search for local liquidators and local liquidation pallets. Do that search and see what's near you, and then take a drive or make a phone call and go check it out. This could help reduce some of your shipping costs or your transportation costs, getting your stuff to you. And sometimes it can be hit or miss. Some of these locations Like they could have a hodgepodge of just trash, and I don't mean trash, but the inventory is not like it's truly broken inventory, or it's really whatever. And it could be that they have some really good stuff and it's worth looking into further. So look for local liquidators first. Then go do some research online. And this is only a small list. Like there's a boatload of liquidators. If you just Google liquidation sites, there's like top 10 sites and all this other stuff. So we're going to go look at one of those. But, these are a couple of the liquidation sites that you can go and check out on your own. B stock and bulk, those two have like some drop down options that make it easier for you to kind of do some sorting. So we'll look at that in just a second. So the things you need to keep in mind: you need to research the suppliers. Find a supplier that you like, trust, or you want to test. Like you feel like you got some good feedback, you did some good research, and you want to test them. You want to try them out if this is new to you. And even if it's not new to you, like people who've been doing this for a while, they test out liquidators all the time. They find the ones that they like and they stick with those. And so figure out who you want to test, who you want to try. The next one is you do need to get an EIN. The majority of the liquidators are going to require you to have an EIN, and they're also going to require you to have a reseller certificate or a vendor's license. Depends on what state you're in as to what they call it. It may actually be called a reseller's license. It could be a sales tax certificate. There's a whole bunch of different terms, but in other words, you want to be able to buy this inventory tax-free, and they want to make sure you're a legitimate business. And then you will either buy or bid or make offers on some of these. So some sites, you're going to just do bids, and that's it. And that's all you have available to you is you're just going to bid, 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 bid. Other sites, you'll be able to buy outright, or they may have an option where you can make offers. So different sites will have different features available to you. So keep that in mind. If you're using an online liquidator, remember that you're going to have to pay for shipping. So, a pallet's going to involve freight shipping and cases are going to involve ground shipping. So keep that in mind. And then your profit or your ROI may vary. So you could have an extremely profitable pallet that you bought where you spent $7,000 for the pallet and you make $70,000 on it. And then there could be some where you're just like, okay, I did not get the return that I was hoping. So sometimes it is hit or miss. You'll get better at it, just like with retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, with wholesale, private label, with drop shipping. Like there's going to be sometimes where your margins are really good, and there'll be sometimes like, this is not as good. So again, finding a supplier that you like, a liquidator that you like up front may help you. And then also better understanding the contents of the pallet that you're getting. You're not always going to have the ability to see 100% of what's in that pallet. And then depending on the site, like I said, the manifest may or may not be available, the contents of it, and the condition. So they will say sometimes the condition is new, but then when you get it, it's really not new. So you want to be mindful of that the condition may not always be 100% accurate. The contents may not always be 100% accurate. I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm just saying that as fact. There's a lot of times that it is fairly accurate. So just be flexible and be prepared for that. All right. So finding funding, if this is something you want to get into where you want to buy liquidated inventory, this is something you want to do, you can always take your existing business sales and you can reinvest 100% of that profit so that way you can use that to start buying liquidated inventory. You could, look at the Small Business Administration, banks, credit unions. PayPal has a funding program, so does Stripe. The credit cards also have a funding program. Sometimes they have loan programs, or you can use a business credit card. You can look into microloans, crowdfunding, grants, reach out to family members and friends. But the goal is to flip that inventory fairly quickly. Just like buying a house, when people like they're flippers out here that buy houses, they fix them up really quick and then they sell them. That's your goal, is to get that pallet and get it listed pretty quickly. That's your goal. So I'm going to escape for just a second and we're going to go to a couple of sites, I think, maybe. So list of top liquidators. This is web retailer. So direct liquidation, bulk, liquidation.com. Box Fox, blue lots, 88 lots. You need to be prepared for whatever it is. So, as you can see, 88 lot and blue lots are fixed price. Liquidation.com and Box Fox are auctions. And so you kind of get an idea. You can just Google this for web retailer to kind of get an idea of what what they have to say, the features at a high level glance of what they have to say. So bulk allows you to do fixed price and auctions, and so this has 2% accuracy variance on manifest. So you want to be mindful of that. Transactions exceeding $5,000 must be paid through a wire transfer. So again, a credit line for some of them may be available. So this one has a credit line of up over 30 days. So just keep that in mind. Check out this list, and you can go and look at their sites. So when I go to bulk, the first thing I want you to notice that when you go to bulk, and you're going to see some similar functionality and features on different sites. So depending on what you want to shop for, so let me just go to the main because I don't want to be on computers. So I could sort by computers, consumer electronics, toys, baby, home and garden apparel, general merchandise. I can sort by the condition, new, like new, uninspected, which means you don't know the condition, scratch and dent, or salvage. And then you can continue to drill down. So if I went over to toys and baby and toys, and then I went to condition and I wanted like new or new. So this is what the results were for like new. They dropped the price on this one by 48%. There's only, there's what, 3 pages? Nope, that's it, just that. So if I go to new for this category, I want to go back to toys. And so this is toys and baby. You can see what's in here. You can see, okay, this is ground, this is freight, this is ground. So you can see, they kind of give you some insight. Again, you're not going to be able to see everything that's in there, but it kind of gives you some insight of what might be in there. And you can take it from there. So this is something you want to, if you want to take a deeper dive into what's in these pallets. So Bluey, my son likes Bluey. So, this one is $54 with shipping. It is $30. It says there's 17 items in there. It's 26 pounds. It's coming from Lebanon, Tennessee. And sometimes the manifest is available and sometimes it's not. So you want to check that just to make sure. They dropped this price by 56%. So they've got Pete the Cat in here. There's some pretty good, and it says the retail value of this is $358. Again, that's their estimated retail value. That may or may not be correct, and you would have to list these things. So the first thing I would do is see if I can find the manifest, and then I'm going to go see how much these things are selling independently that I can visually see. And if there's a manifest, I can go in there and take a look at it. So kind of giving you the idea of what you're looking for. Okay. Some of them also have links that go directly to Amazon. So you'll see the ASIN that's over here. So I can go to the ASIN and I can go and look and see what is this thing selling for on Amazon. Okay. So this is bulk. A lot of the sites, they have some similar features. I think on liquidation, you can, again, I think I'm in computers, maybe. Yeah, I think I'm in computers. So you can go and take a look at it. This is all bid. So it's not a fixed price. You can see which bids are closing or probably already closed, because I think I've been sitting on this page for a while. But anyway, your opportunity to take a deeper dive or to look into this further. Okay. And then I think this is B stock. So this one you can shop options. Okay. So for buyers, how it works, buyer's log, but I thought, no, I'm not logged in. So the one thing I will tell you about B stock is you can see that they have, they're getting inventory from big box stores, and they also have some name brands in there. So see all the marketplaces. This is where you'll be getting your inventory from. So if you want to buy Walmart inventory liquidation, if you want to buy Costco, if you want to buy Amazon, again, you have a lot of opportunity here to make some money. So this would be a reason why you would want to look into this further and maybe decide that you're going to do liquidation. Your call, your decision. I think that's a good smattering. So let's go ahead and look at the next thing. So fulfillment centers. So I wanted to talk just briefly about fulfillment centers. Like I said before, I have inventory in my garage, storage unit, downstairs living room. Like I used to have it in my den, and it's cleared out there. So we're moving inventory. But if you don't want to deal with the inventory, like maybe you have a strategy where you're going to buy liquidations, you kind of go through it and make sure it's good, what's not good, and then you list it on a platform or you ship it to a fulfillment center, let them handle it. So that way, if you have a small space, maybe you only have your garage, receive a couple of pallets in, ship the inventory that you plan on listing to a fulfillment center so you don't have to ship it to a customer. That way, when it sells, a fulfillment center automatically sends it to your customer. They can also, some of the fulfillment centers also have prep options. And so they could prep the inventory if labels need to be removed, if certain things need to happen with it. They can prep it. So a fulfillment center, much like Amazon, is where you've sent your inventory to them and they just fulfill the order. Somebody buys it, they pull it off the shelf, they ship it to the customer for you. A prep center is a facility where they will go in and do some extra stuff. They might, if you're doing bundles, they might put your bundles together, they might remove the labels, they might make sure that they clean it up. So again, if you've got a lot of inventory that's coming in liquidation, you only have a small workspace, receive the liquidation in, break it down, review it, test it, whatever you need to do, get what you need out of it, list it, ship it to your prep center, let them fulfill the inventory. So, or your fulfillment center, either one. So why do you need a prep center? For all the reasons I listed before. You need to get the stuff out of your house, out of your closet, your garage, or hallway, your kitchen table, your spare room. You want your life back, and you don't want your whole life to be taken up from inventory. Like you could, if you have a 2-car garage, you could literally park your car on one side and use the other side just to receive your pallets in, break them down and ship them to the fulfillment center. I'm just saying. So then that way you can get your life back and get your house back. Okay. So why would you do this? It's going to save you time and money. If you just want to acquire inventory where you have a high ROI and you don't want to spend the time, pulling it from the shelf and shipping it to the customer and all that other stuff, you just want to receive inventory in, list it, get it out of here. You can ship it to your fulfillment center. Now, if you don't want to use a fulfillment center and you want to keep that money, because again, that's going to eat into your profits, I understand. So you can fulfill the inventory yourself. But again, if you have limited space, a good way to do it is to receive it in and then ship it back out to a prep center and let them fulfill the inventory. So you are going to pay for it. But anyway, so e-commerce sellers, we try to do everything ourselves, and I'm not trying to do everything myself anymore. You have to spend time working on inventory, prepping inventory, packaging inventory, shipping inventory, and that's just a lot. So if you can get it in, it's already in a box from the prep center, you open it, you make sure it works, you send it off, just get it out the door. It frees up your time to do more with your business, plus it frees up space in your house. And then you'll be able to just focus on sourcing. That's what I was talking about before. If you source from a liquidator, then you can just receive inventory in and ship it out. Like you literally, some people receive the pallets in and they check it really quick and then they just ship it to the prep center. They don't do anything else. They validate the manifest. They make sure that they got the information that they need to go ahead and create the listings. And they are creating listings while it is en route. So if you receive a shipment in from your liquidator at like 10 o'clock in the morning and you turn around and you have UPS pick up the same pallet or pieces of the pallet and ship it off to your prep center like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just saying. And that way it's in and out, in and out, in and out. So, finding profitable inventory that you can sell. That's the goal, is to find profitable inventory. Okay. So the benefits of using a prep center: less stress for you, less inventory coming in and out of your house. Well, there's going to be inventory coming in and out of your house if you're using a prep center. If you're not using a prep center, like if you're buying from a wholesaler or if you're buying Yeah, if you're buying in bulk from a wholesaler, instead of it coming to your house, just ship it directly to your fulfillment center, or ship it directly to your prep center. Either one of those works. You can reduce your stress. You can reduce, touching a boatload of inventory. You can reduce prepping inventory, all of that. You can also, with the prep center, you can save on taxes. So if your state has a sales tax, some prep centers are located in states where they don't. So Texas is one of those states. We have sales tax. We do have sales tax. We don't have tax on food, but we do have sales tax. Um, so keep that in mind. Where is your inventory going to be sitting? Then the other thing is, you can save on inbound shipping fees. So if you were sending the inventory to the Amazon FBA, that's fine. But if Amazon this Q4 is going to limit the amount of space for some sellers, for most sellers. So if they're limiting the amount of space and you have a boatload of inventory you want to move, send it to a fulfillment center so that way you don't have to worry about the restrictions and limitations that Amazon is going to put on you, as far as how much inventory they're willing to store in their warehouse. And the other thing is, maybe there's faster turnaround. If you're busy sourcing, checking inventory, trying to find inventory, you don't have time to be fulfilling customer orders or dealing with returns. You can have all that go directly to your prep center and work out a process in the system with them where they can handle your returns. Okay. So the things that we talked about, overlooked benefits, we already talked about inventory at your house, getting your kitchen table back. You don't have to deal with shipping supplies. Maybe you do if you're dealing with them, getting inventory in from a liquidation. But again, you having to keep everything, you can just do a shrink wrapper and have somebody else come pick up that pallet and drop it off at your prep center or drop it off at your fulfillment center. Either one. So you don't have to buy all that fun stuff, Scotty Peelers, Goo Gone, all that other stuff. So the things you want to consider: location, very important. Where's your prep center going to be located? Is it something you can drop off, where you can drop it off, or are you going to have to ship it in? What services they have available? They have poly bags where your stuff can go into poly bags. Will they do bundles? Do they, how do they handle their merchant fulfilled orders? Because you want them to fulfill or handle those orders where customers are buying stuff from you. What are they charging? What are the costs? How much are they charging you per poly bag? What are they charging you for prep services? What are they charging you for different things? You need to factor that into it. Again, if you're moving a lot of inventory and you're getting a really good, return on the inventory that you're buying from some of these auctions or however you're acquiring inventory, the prep center services are going to be very similar to what you would pay in Amazon FBA. In some cases, maybe just a little bit less. What's their promised turnaround? During Q4, we know the shipping is going to be slowed down. That's just a fact. It is. It's a fact. You need to prepare for that. You need to increase your processing times on anything that you list on any platform. It does not matter. It doesn't matter if Amazon's fulfilling it or whoever is fulfilling it. Everybody is going to experience the slowdown. That's just a fact. So you need to be prepared for that. If you're doing online arbitrage, make sure your purchases are sales tax free. So if you're doing online arbitrage and you don't have to have it shipped to you, you can have it shipped to your prep center and they can check it in. Shipping supplies, I think we talked about that, but they will charge you fees for certain things. So they'll charge you for a box if they have to package it in a box to go to your customer. But if it's already in a box and they just need to slap a label on it, then that's good for you. They just need to make sure that they understand what's in that box, especially if it's like a no label on the outside of the box to tell them what this is. And I will tell you, if you're buying liquidation, sometimes the stuff that's in the box is not the thing that's on the outside of the box. So what I mean like that, they might be it's put in a Dell computer box, but when you open it, it is filled with toys. So you need to be prepared for that. And you're going to figure that out as you work with more and more liquidators, which liquidators are shipping things in the actual name of the box and which ones are finding boxes and just stuffing stuff into the box. Pallets, will they receive pallets? Definitely want to find that out. And then how long do they keep invoices on file? What type of record keeping are they keeping? Because you're going to need that information. So do they offer discounts for volumes? That's important. How long can you store your inventory with them before they start charging you fees? And what are the fees? Do they handle hazmat? Like, do they have any exemptions or exceptions or limitations? Will they handle private label and white label products? And how do they handle returns? Do they handle returns? And then what accounts do you need to create or have, or what software do you need to have in order to do business with them? Some of them are going to ask you to like create a ShipStation account or something else. So what do you need to have? And then customer service, what is their customer service process? That's important because customer service is important. All right. So here's a couple of prep centers that we recommend you check out. You can look into them. Deliver, of course. Precision Prep, they spoke in our last summit. My fulfillment team, they're in Tennessee. Canada Prep and Fulfillment, they're in Canada. And then here's a wide variety of prep centers. You can see stuff that they handle. If you're getting in like containers that are coming in from China or something like that, again, you want to find a prep center that will handle some of the freight forwarding, or you have to get a freight forwarder. And what do you need to set up? Who do they already have a relationship with? So find that out. So again, this is just a list that we found online to help you give you some insight on different fulfillment centers and or prep centers and what they're willing to take. And you can keep this in mind as you prepare for Q4. Very important. Very, very important. So it's quite the extensive list. It tells you what state they're in, tells you what their kind of operations are. Thought I would be done now. I think there's one more page. There might be one more page, or this might be it. Yeah, let me just see. So again, make a note if there's a state that works for you. You want to check them out. You want to contact them. Go ahead and do that. So the last thing I want to do is invite you all to join the eCom Sellers Mastery Q4 Prep Workshop. It's here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It is August the 27th through the 29th. We want to invite you to come hang out with us. Again, it's August the 27th through the 29th of 2021. It's in 3 weeks from right now. So go check that out. We invite you to come hang out with us and to get the support and help that you need on your Q4 journey. So with that being said, this is Nechole Whitlock with the eCom Q4 Summit, and we are going to say goodbye for now.